Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Club. So, today we are going to look at consistency. Um, so I hear a lot people can be really definite on what it is that they want to change, especially on a Monday morning. But what's it like on a Thursday morning or a Wednesday evening or by next Monday morning? Um, so we're going to look at five really easy steps. So if you haven't got your journal or pen and paper, if you want to grab those now, I will pop these on a handout. Not created the handout yet, so you might have to be a little bit patient. Might not make it to you till the end of the day. But firstly, um, just thinking about like your main goal that just feels relevant this morning. Try not to overthink it. Try not to go deep of like, oh, well, my main goal is to, and that could be really, really big. And you might want to just put a hand on your heart, hand on your belly, close your eyes, and just see what's the first thing that pops up. What's the main goal or habit that you really want to be consistent with today and in this moment? Just one. And just pop down that first thing that's come up. Um, and what we're going to do is just look into the why. That always comes back to that why. Um, I think someone said yes last week, actually. Was it, I can't remember if it was someone on here or a client, and they said that there's five whys. So you'll say, well, why do you want to do that? Why? And you do it five times and it peels back. I think it might have been you, Belinda. Anyway, why do you want to achieve that goal? I hate the word goal and achieve. Why do you want to do it? Why have you got that intention? And then secondly, how's it going to impact your life once it's happened? So yeah, is it impactful? Sometimes this is what we lose sight of, especially when we're just doing those little tiny steps every day. It doesn't feel like a big impact. Us humans in today's culture and society, like a big buy now, click it, instant button. Um, and the intentions that we set, the big stuff in life, is tiny little actionable steps that might take us a long time. So thinking about how that's going to impact your life, all those positives, and then how it's going to feel once you get there. So think of it like a mountain or a hill or some sort of trek. There's lots of little base camps. I think we think, right, we're going to go up there. If you're anything like me, it's like, yes, I'm going to do it, and I'm all or nothing. And I go up like, yes, I'm getting to the top. Um, so I could try and sprint it, and then before I'm even halfway, I'm like, I'm so exhausted. It's not really working. I want you to think of this mountain or this hill. You're actually walking around it. And each time you go round it in this cycle to reach the top, you get a little stop off, get a little base camp where you can stay for a couple of days. You can get your shoes off, you can take your kit off, you can just have a nice little breather. And on this journey, as you're winding your way up to this, reaching the tip of this intention, this thing that you want to do, but you can say, oh, do I want to go a little bit further today with this? Do I want to make some way? Do I want to get closer to what I really want? or today am I going to have a little bit of a rest? Um, Giving yourself that choice because this approach, the old Erica approach, we're going to march on up and it doesn't matter what's happening, can fall off. So it's slower, it's steadier, it's the one that gets results. Um, and hopefully at the end of this, we're going to have a little bit of time just to discuss what it is that everybody wants to do. Just so we've got that little accountability. Um, so the second step really with this consistency is breaking it down. Really, really breaking it down into how are you going to get there? How are you going to get to the top? How are you going to get to this completed journey? The one of the many, many, many that you've got in the rest of your life. So if that goal is to become fitter, you may want to break that down into like increasing your walking by 10%. So I don't know, lots of phones have these step trackers. Be careful if you have got any previous, or if you've got like an addictive mindset, because I know these things can trigger people. Um, you know in your heart, you don't really need a step counter or a fancy ass watch to go, oh, do you know what? You worked out more today, or you moved your bum more today. You know if you move your bum more. Um, so it could be, I'm sure what I've just really got an image of my nan. She used to get up every single morning and touch her toes 10 times, and she would do 10 times touch her toes 10 times before she got into bed as well. That lovely small habit. Um, yeah. So what, yeah. So instead of, if you're really into your metrics, go for it. If you've got a little bit of a wonk and you're going to beat yourself up at the end of the day because you set out to do 9,000 steps and you only did seven, then cut yourself some slack and be aware of that. So it might be you want to do 10 minutes of stretching in the morning. You want to do some jogging on the spot when the kettle's boiling in the morning. If it's linked to becoming healthier, it might be that you want to drink 2 litres of water a day. So measurables are really, really good. If you feel like you're going to spiral with a metric, then just more of or less of is fine. So the third one we're going to look at is we have talked about this before. It's about creating that routine, but I'm going to build accountability onto this, and I'm going to pop in the email. I've been thinking about this for a little while now about creating a little WhatsApp group. Now, you hear those words, and if it feels like, oh no, not another one, that's absolutely fine. But routine is key, accountability is key. I don't know how many of you have ever done that. Like, you've done something with a buddy or you've trained together. You might have done something together, like run a half marathon or just keep each other boosted. Um, so let me know if you want in or not. There is zero, zero, zero pressure because yeah. And I archive a lot of group chats to help with my screen time. So I'll only look at them maybe at the end of the day or when I've got that, like, "Oh, I'll have a look at that now." So my apologies in advance. I'm not on there replying all the time. Um, but yeah, creating that routine. So it's got to be daily or weekly routine that integrates those small steps that you've just listed in the second step. So what you need to do. So what you've identified in the second step, just start small, not the we're going round, remember? It's like a small increment. So because start with one or two of those things, and then you can add more as consistency builds. So it's often we know we have the knowledge of what we need to do, right? We need to, if it is health related, it's like, oh yeah, I need to move more. I need to eat less processed food. I need to do some strength combined with some cardio. I need to drink more water. Um, and the list can go on and feel very, very overwhelming. So the key is to the habit stack. So just pick one or two and pop those into daily or weekly routines. So something that is like drinking more water would be daily. That is something that you want to achieve on a daily basis. Something like working out, you might just start with once a week and don't let that voice come in and go, what's the point of doing it if you're only doing it once a week? But there is no space. That inner critic is not involved in this. Like she can get out of the room. So it's like I think I've shared this before, but with running, I had such an ingrained mindset because I used to run, like 8 miles at a time. So 3 miles would be my absolute minimum, which would take me 30, 35 minutes. And if I couldn't do that, be like, well, there's no point, is there? I'm not going for a run because I haven't got 30, 35 minutes. So what started to happen is I never went. Lost fitness and other reasons why I didn't go. But 5 minutes counts. It's the kettle was boiling this morning. I was making my tea. Um, I've got a kettlebell now by the kettle and just did 12 on each side and then like 8 little swings. That's it. I was in here. That's that's new. That's key. So now that that's established, I can start building on that. So it's all habit stacking. So you just want to add one or two as that consistency builds. Don't start with your huge list of this is my action plan and this is what I'm going to do. It makes us feel good. It creates lots of dopamine. It's like, yes, we've got this. But when we go in that way and we go hard and fast, it's not consistent. We'll be having more sit down days with that approach. So we're not going to reach the top any quicker than if we've gone a longer, nicer kind of route round. Set time blocks. Just as a little review, reset. If you join me on this, well, you do, like if you're in this monthly membership, most of you are living more aligned with the moon anyway. So maybe have a little review of new moon and old moon, new moon and full moon. Um, so new moon could be like, oh yeah, I'm going to weave in an additional. Full moon could be like, what part of this plan isn't working? I'm going to step that down or get that out because that's not really working for me. Be flexible. Life happens. So take take note, have permission of the days that you want to sit on base camp and just chill for a day, muster the strength to go again. Think of yourself as charging that phone. We charge our phone every single day. Do we charge our mind and bodies every single day? just leave that there. The accountability, I'm going to ask if anyone wants this WhatsApp group. Um, if you don't want to, you can use your journal for your own little accountability, or there's lots of little life habit apps you can get now. Um, being open to feedback is something that I'd really like to encourage. And this has really come from my most recent training, really. It's no one likes to give negative feedback, and we're not going to go in negative. But say, for example, um, I'm like, oh yeah, I've done my run, I've done my 5 minutes this morning, that I will openly admit has dropped off now. I'm doing 5 minutes of something every morning, so I'm not beating myself up that it's not a run. Um, but that's changed. And that kind of, it could be like, oh, Erica, I've noticed that, it seems to be a cycle, or there seems to be a pattern, or it's when you're working a lot more, you stop looking after yourself. It's those things that we think are so blindingly obvious, but we won't see it, or we know it in the back of our mind. And it's really powerful if somebody can point that out in a very loving, non-judgmental way. I feel like that, even if, oh, that's okay that you're not doing that anymore. Um, but why? What have you replaced instead? Because all these intentions are hopefully things that are, increasing our well-being. So what is it? What is that part of the self-destruct? And it could be that, like, oh, actually, this seems like a bit of a pattern. Maybe you need more support during, day 5 to 10, to lock in this practice. Or self-identify and go, because it's easy to post a picture of like, yay, I've just done this, or I've just bought myself a new water bottle to make sure that I drink all my water. We like to shout about the positives, but also go, do you know what, I'm really struggling today. I haven't done what I said I've done, and it's been day 4 now that I've been sat at base camp, because someone just literally whipped me out of base camp and kicked me up this bloody mountain. So yeah. Anyway, so step 4 is really embracing the power of habits, like that repetition, it becomes automatic. I promise. You probably know this already, that consistency is that key to any habit formation. I know that, well, I know for a fact that you've all got a daily little practice, whether that be prayer in the morning, or 10 minutes meditation in the evening, or sending a gratitude list, or doing your exercises, whatever it is, that didn't happen before. Something created that change, something made that action into a habit. We'll brush our teeth. Well, hopefully we do. We'll clean ourselves. So yeah, it's all about the habit. So it's so automatic, and we slowly build. So maybe just track to begin with in a very compassionate way. You can use calendar, a journal, an app if you want to. Just do a little check-in at night time. Like, did I do what I said I was going to do today? That's what I tend to do. I'm like, I didn't get it in, did I? Oh, okay. I'll get up a little bit earlier in the morning, and don't try and go harder the day after. It's a trap that many of us fall into. I'd like, oh, I didn't do my 5 minutes, so I'll do 10 minutes tomorrow. And then I kick that can further down the road, it's like, oh, I'll just do 15 minutes. Small, consistent always wins the race. Not big things like once a week. Um, so you can mark each day. So it could just be a little tick on your calendar if you've got a calendar in the house um or even on the phone. You know if you've done it or not. And this is also about building trust as well and that self-esteem. Remember when we talked about self-efficacy? All these little things are like, yeah, I trust myself. Like I show up for myself. I can rely on myself, therefore I have a good relationship with myself. And celebrate. So for every week that you've stayed consistent, for every week you've continued that path and you haven't gone, oh, I'm going to do base camp. Oh, I want to do base camp for a few days. Every week, just like reward yourself in something that's really meaningful to you. So enjoy a little treat or take a day off, sit at base camp for the day. Um, and yeah, just share how you're making these actions a habit. Um, and yeah, the more that you do it, the less mental effort is going to be required. And then the final step is like be patient and forgiving of yourself, which hopefully you've all cultivated some self-compassion because I bang on about it all the time. But reflect on how you feel when you struggle. Like really use it for a time of reflection, not like, oh God, I didn't do it. Whenever we don't do what we set out to do, we default into like, oh my God, I'm in trouble a lot of the time. Or like, oh, just shit. Just like really gives steroids to our inner critic a lot of the time. It can do. So, how did you feel? Now, really drilling down on like, how did you feel when you didn't stay consistent? Might be like, do you know what? I really needed the rest and you really needed a break from it. And I'm glad I've done it because now I feel however you feel and I've got that. Like, I'm ready. I can go again. Um, and what happened? Like, what did happen? Was it an intentional break or was it like a little slip up? Um, and then just like remembering that setbacks are all part of this process. You know, it's not that all or nothing, like I'll just blow it out of the water now. Because don't allow one day to become a week that becomes a month. That I just shared about the ultra processed food, the course that I did with Ruth O'Keefe. She's such a poppet. I love her. Um, she that started in September or October of last year. And then Christmas, I just like Christmas, it all just fell off the wagon, even with the best intentions of like, oh, I'm gonna have like more. There's so many gorgeous non-processed food over Christmas. The cheeses, the dates, just lots of lovely warming stuff. And yeah, I still just like blew it all out of the water. It felt quite nostalgic to have those things. But instead of the day turning into a week, that week turned into 2 months, and it's like, and then it's harder to get back. So I like jumped back off or just fell off and tumbled down. And I'm probably got back to where I was like in November. So really not doing that all or nothing mentality about, oh no, I had too busy anyway. I've just started a new job and there's big things to worry about. how is there a bigger thing to worry about than your health and well-being? Because we all know when that is not working, nothing else is working optimally anyway. Um, so, and just that kind of, yeah, setbacks are part of the process, or an opportunity for us to learn, to grow. Um, of like, I'm not, like, after that, I remember really like committing to that. I am refusing to abandon myself anymore. I am not doing it. It is like there is still, and it is so much weaker and diluted than it used to be. That this like rebel, self-destructive part of me just loves to just come up and just press the button like, okay, okay, so we're not doing that anymore. It's almost like it comes from this like unworthiness state. And it's like, you know what? I'm absolutely burning that, burnt it on a full moon. I've like, no, I absolutely am not abandoning myself anymore. And it's been there since. So that kind of growth mindset, the beliefs, the abilities, the skills improve over time. I mean, it depends on at which point I've been doing it over my life. I started studying psychology in 2000. I love this stuff. Um, it's a lifelong journey. Um, and it's the long-term consistency. And, like with self-efficacy, don't think that setback is like, "Oh, I've done it again." It's like, oh, this is the thing with consistently choosing, intentionally choosing, like, I'm going to give myself a day or two off, and then going like, okay, I'm going to give myself a day or two off, but Friday or whenever it is, we are back to this. Friday comes, you're grassing yourself up. Friday comes and you're not doing what you've intended to do, and you're betraying yourself. You sit down and go, okay, what's going on? Why? It's usually some psychological, emotional level. Um, so yeah, consistency, not intensity. I don't know who I've stole that from, but I don't feel like it's mine. I probably heard it on a podcast, but it's a little nugget. Consistency, not intensity. So clarify your why, break down your goal, your journey in small steps, create the routine, build the accountability, embrace that power of habit, be patient and forgiving. Know that setbacks are part of this process. The more that we can prepare ourselves for also feeling into like, what's it going to feel like when I succeed at this? Also leaning into what's it going to feel like when I don't do this. So you're prepared for both because you know that those days are going to happen, is more likely that they're not going to happen. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop the recording now. If anyone has got 5 minutes at the end and wants to share, and we can start that accountability right here, right now, like Fatboy Slim. Um, let's do that. So I'll stop the recording and have a great week.